Well, good morning and good holiday to you all. I am Tenacious Earl, and we will be playing Game 4 of Dodgers Cubs NLCS from 2008. Kind of a made up NLCS based on my Phillies replay that didn't go so well for the Phillies when it came time for the playoffs, but we're playing this out. We are doing Game 4 of the NLCS before ALCS Game 3 because Game 3 of the ALCS would be played on the West Coast at Angel Stadium and against the Red Sox, Angels and Red Sox, and this is at Wrigley Field. So if you're going to play two games on the same day, you're going to start the one further east earlier, and so that's why we're doing this. So, hi Beatles, yes. I guess probably on your side of the Atlantic, you may not celebrate Memorial Day, but we do here, and so I appreciate that. And hope you have a great day too. Um, all right, so we're in Chicago again. Let's get the weather. Let's see. So we'd say that the West Coast, they would do it. We're going to call this, we'll still call this night because it's probably like twilight and it would still be somewhat cooler weather potentially. A 9, we'll say average conditions probably makes sense. So 10 and 15. 10s on singles, 15s on home runs. So not super good conditions, but also actually pretty good for home runs, I guess. The wind is not blowing in here on this October late afternoon. And another decision I had to make was starters. And so based on Stratomatic's designations, both Ryan Dempster and Chad Billingsley are permitted to go on short rest. And because Billingsley did against the Phillies in the NLCS, definitely we're going to use Billingsley on short rest. Also, Lowe will for Game 5. We may have to use, if there is a Game 6, we may have to use Clayton Kershaw as the Game 6 starter just to make sure that we get Billingsley back around for his 3-day rest. But the other thing we could do is use Kuroda in Game 7 if we decided that Billingsley. But Billingsley did okay in Game 1, I believe. They lost the game, but let's see, he did go 5 innings. I don't know. We'll see. Dempster did not have a good Game 1. He is rated for 3 days rest, and so we're going to use him. We will keep Ted Lilly for Game 4, as Carlos Zambrano is not approved for that. And interestingly enough, Ted Lilly can go on 3 days rest. So, but we're probably not going to do that with him. But anyway, let's get going. So both these pitchers are going on 3 days rest. There's no further need to adjust them. It's just they are good enough. So it'll be Kemp. So the Dodgers, if you recall Game 3, if you didn't tune in, Rafael Furcal received an injury that will limit him throughout the rest of the playoffs. He will not be able to participate. He has been removed from the roster. They've added Luis Mazza as a depth middle infielder, so to sort of replace that potential hitter in the lineup, or not in the lineup, but off the bench. So Kemp will lead off in center field. That's where Furcal was in the lineup here in the past few games. Instead, it's going to be Matt Kemp leading off, and then Andre Ethier in right will bat second. Russell Martin catching. Manny Ramirez left field will bat fourth. Then fifth will be James Loney at first. Then Jeff Kent second base. Blake DeWitt third base, batting seventh, and then Nomar Garciaparra will be the shortstop, and then Billingsley will round out the lineup and pitch, obviously. So, let's go. Let's see, what do we got here? We've got Larry. Happy Memorial Day to you. Hi, Tried fan. Hello, NASL Log Acta Chart Soccer. Interesting name. That's cool. I guess you're a soccer fan. I like soccer myself, so don't know if there's any soccer on today or not. We had the Champions League final on Saturday, and then obviously some MLS action over the weekend. But largely, I guess most the countries are starting to sort of get ready. Probably starting to hold training camps for the World Cup that's coming up here in a couple weeks. So, yeah. NCAA lacrosse men's final. Okay, well, let's go. Ryan Dempster against Kemp. I guess it's probably being held in the Baltimore area, I would assume. They usually hold lacrosse, like Navy or M&T Bank Stadium or something. I don't know. Anyway, Kemp, righty 4-3 fly ball that will be caught by Fukudome for the first out. I also had some thoughts. I'll talk about the Cubs lineup in just a minute once we get through the Dodgers half of the first. Andre Ethier, 311, and this is going to be a potential home run. 1-15. Will they take an early 1-0 lead? Looking for redemption here for that NLCS loss in 2008. The Dodgers. It is out of here. Home run, Andre Ethier, early 1-0 lead. Ethier goes deep. Ballpark home run. And right out of the gate, they get to Dempster. Here's Russell Martin. 1-4, ballpark single 1-10. And there is back-to-back hits for the Dodgers. Martin gets on. Let's see, Soto, the catcher, -1 hold. Martin is not gonna steal right at the moment. It'd be Manny Ramirez at the plate. .69 righty, and that's a single. So early troubles for Dempster. Pitching on 3 days rest, and they got runners at the corners with 1 out. They will play at double play depth, hoping Loney grounds into one. And here's the pitch. 5-10 lefty, grounder to short. This could be 2. Terrio, 3E16. They weren't holding for Manny, right? Not a stealer. No. Not holding Manny. So 3E16, 3 and 18. That will be a good relay. Will they be able to do it without a throwing error? There's 15 on the E16. Let's see. And that is a double play to end the inning. 6-4-3. Loney grounds into it, and that's a big out for Dempster to get through that first inning, only giving up the 1 run after 3 straight hits. Okay, so the Cubs lineup, my dilemmas. It was easier starting off the series when we didn't have Soriano. So then you had DeRosa in, but now it's like, do you use Fontenot or DeRosa at second base? And also Fukudome. And so I decided to keep him in the lineup and use Fontenot, but just move him down the order. So it's going to be Soriano in left leading off, Fukudome in right, batting second, Derek Lee first base, batting third, and then Aramis Ramirez, the cleanup hitter, playing third base. Also, it was whether we're going to use Jim Edmonds or Reed Johnson. I decided Reed Johnson this game, even though a left-handed bat may be preferential for Billingsley. Just trying to get the better hitter of the ball off his own card, and maybe slightly better fielding, but not. It's pretty negligible, I would say, between him and Edmonds. Soto catching, Mike Fontenot second base, as I said, Ryan Theriot short, and Ryan Dempster. So let's see if the Cubs can respond here against Billingsley. Soriano with the 6'11 righty. That's a potential single 1-10. And that's going to be a liner to short. So already the D20 not being so kind to the Cubbies. Fukudome, 5'11. He will draw a walk. No, excuse me, against the lefty hitter. Ballpark single, so another 50-50 chance. And he does get this one. So the 1-10 roll rings true here for these guys. 2 in a row, and yeah, with 1 out, Fukudome will try and see if he can get a lead here. Billingsley and Martin, Billingsley and Martin, though, it's going to make it. He's going to hold tight, so no D20 action there. So Derek Lee, 2-9, and 2-9 will be at least a single and potentially a triple with a 1, 18. So single, Fukudome will trot into third without a problem. First and third, and 1 out. And here is Aramis Ramirez. Hey, Larry. Hey, Alan Shaw. How you doing? Larry got some History Maker baseball action. You enjoy it, Larry. It's a fun game. I'll tell you, I would like red, white, and blue racing. It'd be great if there was a way you could adapt it for Formula One, but the Formula One racing, you don't get a lot of passing, so I think it would probably make things a little bit tougher to do a Formula One style based off of red, white, and blue. But okay, so Ramirez, I want to stay focused here on the game. It's kind of tough because I want to also read the comments. 1-5. Oh, and there we go. Grounder to third base. Up with it, DeWitt. He throws to Kent for the first, over to Loney in time, and Billingsley gets the same result as Dempster with first and third and 1 out. Ending grounder into double play, and it's still 1-0 Dodgers thanks to the Ethier solo home run. I'd kind of like to get Soccer Blast, or I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't mind getting is just one of the APBA games in general, whether it's soccer, baseball. I mean, there's a lot of people that have baseball, so I assume they have a football. I know Tabletop Roll's been playing some APBA golf. Does seem to be a game that would take some time. Probably tough to do a tournament with that, but anyway, Jeff Kent. That's a 6-4 against a righty. Grounded to third. Aramis Ramirez, 2 and 14. He gets to it. E20 and 16. Get a lot of high rolls here today. But he does make the play. And with 1 away, Blake DeWitt comes to the plate. He grounds it down the line. Hard shot, but up with it, Lee, and he will trot to the bag himself for the out. And now Nomar Garciaparra. Oh no. Don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. It's close by. Can I get it with it? No. Hey, bud. Okay, so 2 outs. Nomar. Twins beat the Cardinals in '87. 3-7 and a ground to third, and another play for Aramis. Throws across in time, and much less eventful inning there for Ryan Dempster as he makes it through the second. That first outing, the Cubs got the win for him, not for him. They got the win, but he had to come out of the game early as they got behind early. Let me refresh my memory. Yeah, in the fourth inning of that first game, he went single, walk, single, and it looked like, and one run came across. That made it, in the fourth inning, that made it 4-1, nobody out, 2 on, and it just seemed like the Cubs needed to make a change, and they did, and they ended up being victorious because of it. So, there's a lot of interesting projects going on out there. I think people are starting to get the itch to make their own games, and that's cool. Bleacher Bums, like Alan is saying, is trying to develop his own boxing game and stuff. It's an interesting time here with a lot of crowdsourced type stuff. Single for Reed Johnson. He snaps it through the hole and leading off for the Cubs in the second. So Johnson at first, probably not looking at a lot of stolen base opportunities against Billingsley or Dempster. Neither of these you need to have a real stolen base threat, I feel like, to get on these guys, because they're at least average at holding. Unless you get 2 outs, maybe then. But here is Soto. Righty 6-5, and he strikes out. So that brings up Mike Fontenot. They are holding Reed Johnson. With 1 out, I don't want to give up an out on a hit and run. So let's see if Fontenot can get a straight single or extra base hit here. 2-7, and there you go. That is going to be a 1-3 double, 4-20 single, 3. So that is a double for Fontenot, second and third, as Johnson will have to hold. Batter 7. So that's going to bring up with runners threatening Ryan Theriot. Billingsley could walk Theriot to have the Dempster come up here with the bases loaded and 1 out, and maybe get them 1 closer way. But they're going to let Theriot hit. Going to try to pitch to him here. Infield is back. They will concede a run for an out. And righty 6-11. That's a ballpark single chance. This would be a liner if it's a 11 through 20. 1-10 is a single score, is first and third. That's a 6. RBI for Theriot. In comes Johnson, and that ties the ball game. Fontenot has to hold at third, and that brings up Dempster. So, again, they'll play with the infield back. They'd love a double play ball here. 2-6. That's a strikeout. So Soriano will come to the plate with 2 outs and runners on first and third. And here is Soriano, 2 outs. Righty 4-3. That is a fly ball to right. Tough play for Ethier. Can he get there? 3, E2, 3, and 12. He will get underneath that. I want to double check to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that that is in his range, and it is. Now it's the E2, and that will be it as he ranges underneath it for the out. But they tie the ball game on the RBI single from Theriot. Beats out a a real tough play there for the outfielder to come in on. And so it'll be the top of the third, 1-1. A new offering recently in my, I'm not going to show the brand, but in my little mini fridge is bottled water. So now I can not only drink some soda or some beer, I can drink some water too, which is better for me anyway. Well, beer is all right. It has some alternative effects. All right, so Billingsley at the plate. 6-8, 1-3 single for the right-handed hitting Billingsley. Otherwise, it'll be a liner to third. He does get a chunk of it, and it'll be a liner. So it'll be caught by Aramis. 1 out. Top of the order, Kemp. 3-6, he strikes out. First strikeout for Dempster, excuse me, and Ethier. 2 away. Lefty 4-8, and here is more trouble. This will be the second hit for Ethier. 1-4, triple. That'll be a single. 2 for 2 for him. He's gonna try to get a lead here. 2 outs. Exploratory effort with Martin at the plate here. You're going to see if he can get a lead. Needs a 4 or a 5. It's going to be a low probability chance, but and a 10, he doesn't get it, so he's going to hold tight. They aren't holding him on, but it would be a 1-5 chance without the good lead, and I think he's just going to hang tight. So Russell Martin, 4-11 righty, ballpark single. It's a 16. That'll be a liner to short to end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. So nothing better than some baseball on Memorial Day. And while this isn't true baseball, this has got the flavor of it, and might try to get a second game in here before too long. I was also doing some racing online, not streaming it, but on the Xbox, so, or the PlayStation 4. I mean, okay, Fukudome, lefty 6'9", and Fukudome is going to probably get a double out of this. 1-17, and it's right on the money, 17. So Fukudome is 2 for 2. The 2-hole hitters for both teams are a perfect 4 for 4. Derek Lee, Cubs looking to take the lead here. Righty 4-4, grounder to short. This probably will not advance the runner unless, well, it is Nomar. And, well, 1 out, we're going to say they're not holding Fukudome close. So we will leave him at a 4E24. Let's see. Yeah, well, even if they were, Garcia-Parra is not responsible for the runner. It would be Kent at second base. So it's still a 4E24. So a 4 and a 15, I think that'll force the runner to hold, but let's double check here. Unless there is an error, E24 and a 7. No error. Let's check 15 on an E4. That's a G2. Runner at second, G2. Right. That's a decide roll. Fukudome will hold. He could try to go for it and challenge him to make a decision, but so that's going to be a 6-3. What we could say is that he takes third, and Garcia-Parra knows he can't get him, so he just goes to first. But let's say he holds. Ramirez, that's an 11 on the D20, so 2-8. That's a fly ball to center field, and right here is the. That's where it's tough to say whether or not that he would be able to advance to third, because that's a fly ball to center field B question mark, which would give Fukudome a chance to try to score on Kemp. But probably better that way, because Kemp's a good arm. Fukudome a 1-14. He'd have a 1-13 chance, but I had the Cubs get run out of innings the last game too. So here's Reed Johnson with 2 outs and Fukudome at second base. Leadoff double. 1-5, he strikes out. So questionable base running decision by Fukudome may have cost the Cubs a run there. Still 1-1. Okay. Top of the fourth. Nail biter so far. Manny Ramirez, hero of the last game. 2 home runs, responsible for, I think, all but one of the runs in the 6-5 victory that put the Dodgers ahead 2-1. Grand slam, solo home run, and here is Manny again, 3-9. He will walk this time. 1 for 1, and now reached base twice with a walk. So here's James Loney. .38, and there's a single. So the Dodgers getting a little bit of quote-unquote momentum from getting out of that leadoff double jam that Billingsley was in. They now put runners at the corners with nobody out. Cubs will play back, looking for a double play ball here with the slow Jeff Kent. .64 righty, grounded to third. That will be Ramirez 2-E20, not holding his fellow namesake Manny Ramirez at third. So 2-E20, 2-16. Let's do the math on this in a second. E20 and 6 is not an error. So let's see, 16 with a range of 2 is going to be G1. First and third, DP4-3. So they do get the double play. The run does score. No RBI for Kent. 5-4-3. But the Dodgers do take the lead, 2-1, and 2 outs now. Nobody on base left for DeWitt. 3-9, but he will reach on a single. So Dodgers finding some traction here against Dempster. DeWitt, probably not much of a stolen base threat, but why not? He's got a good number if he can get a 2. And he doesn't, so he can't get this lead. Garcia Parra with 2 outs, 3-5, grounder to short, takes the short route, 6-4, fielder's choice, end of the inning. 2-1 Dodgers. Manny Ramirez scores on the ground ball double play to give them the lead. Hold on a second. Did you do good? Nice. Very good, buddy. Okie dokie. So, bottom of the fourth, Cubs facing another deficit. Soto, righty 6-8, and more trouble for Billingsley. 1-4 triple. It's a 5, so a single for Soto. And Cubs looking to respond. Fontenot at the plate. Soto, not stealer. Not a base thief, I guess is what I mean to say. So Fontenot. 6-9 against a lefty, and here is another bad roll for Billingsley. 1-17 is a double, so it'll be second and third, nobody out for the Cubs. As we're getting some 6 rolls here, which hurt Billingsley. So Ryan Theriot. Dodgers will play with the infield back here. They will look for the out and just giving up the 1 run. They'll give up the tying run here. So Theriot, another 6-9. Against a righty, 1-5 normal home run. He's weak power, so this would be a single if it's 1-5. That'll be a fly ball to left B. That'll be a sac fly. In to score comes Soto, and it's tied up. Now I'm worried about my dice. Okay, so Dempster at the plate. Fontenot still at second, 1 out. And a potential wild pitch. 1-11 for Billingsley. 18, so no wild pitch. 5-7 against a righty hitter. 1-12 single. It's a 2, but it's only 1 star, so Dempster and Billingsley is having trouble getting out of the 4th inning here. 3 hits, 1 run across, and it brings up Alfonso Soriano with runners at the corners. Again, the Dodgers will play back. They'd love to get 2. Soriano, a little less of a chance of being a double play threat than some others, but .511 righty. That's a walk. He's going to load the bases. So it's going to give Kosuke Fukudome an excellent opportunity to break this game open for the Cubs a little bit. Again, they're going to play with the infield back. They want a double play. 2-12. That's a grounder to first. He's going to throw to second for 1. Across, not in time. Cubs take the lead on a fielder's choice. That'll be 1-6 at second base. So with 2 outs, runners at the corners now. Fukudome gets an RBI for that. 3-2 Cubs. 2 across here in the 4th, and Derek Lee at the plate. He's a guy that can do some damage as well. So here is Derek Lee, 2 outs. I saw Phil Hughes was traded. 3-3 fly ball to center field. Underneath it is Kemp. He makes the thankful catch. But 2 runs puts the Cubs ahead. Going to the 5th inning. And a choice for the Dodgers now with the leadoff hitter being the pitcher. And they will they're going to get the bullpen working. They will get Greg Maddux up. So they're going to bring in Maddux for at least an inning, maybe 2 innings. And they're going to pinch hit for Billingsley, who was not particularly effective. So, they will go this early with Luis Mazza. So. So Dempster starts the 5th. We'll see if he can get through it. Hasn't quite gotten to the 3rd time through the lineup yet. Luis Mazza to lead off. 6-3 against a righty. Grounder to the pitcher. That will be Dempster. He's a good fielder. 1 E7. 1 and 14. He gets to it. E7. And he'll make the play. So, 1 out. Matt Kemp. 2-7. That's a grounder back to Dempster again. He will, again, toss it over to Derek Lee for the out, and now 2 outs. Andre Ethier, 2 for 2 so far. Lefty 5-4, catcher X. Catcher being Soto, 2 E3, 2 and 7. That'll be a pop out, as long as he makes the play, and he does, to retire the side. Dempster gets them 1, 2, 3. And Greg Maddux will come in to relieve. Let's see. What is this, the 5th? To relieve Billingsley. So, early bullpen work for the Dodgers. And here is Aramis Ramirez to face Maddux on this first at bat. 5-4 righty. Fly ball to center field. Kemp 3 E3, 3 and 7. He barely gets to it. A deep fly ball. He gets his glove on and he will make the play. And a long loud out. Reed Johnson. .110, grounded to third base. DeWitt throws to first, and Reed Johnson is retired. 2 outs. Soto. 3-8, he'll draw a 2-out walk, and that brings up Mike Fontenot. Soto not a stolen base threat, although Maddux, if there's a guy that he's going to try to steal on, it might be Maddux. But it still would be a 35% chance at best. So, Fontenot, 6-10 against the lefty, strikes him out. So the walk doesn't hurt Maddux. He will likely stay in for another inning. So, to the 6th, and Dempster will, this will probably be his last inning, as he will hit in the bottom of the 6th. He'll hit second. So, here's Russell Martin, and he will strike out. So, Dempster settling in here and starting to look like his better self here. Here is Manny Ramirez. 5-8. And that's a grounder to third. And Aramis Ramirez throws to Lee in time to get Ramirez. And James Loney. I'm trying to take a little extra time to shake these guys so that I really want to make sure I get them as random as possible. I know that if there's a weighting problem, it wouldn't make a difference once you roll them, but I'm trying. So let's see, Loney, 6-7 lefty, walk, so a 2-out walk. Cubs will get they're going to have Jason Marquis warm up, start doing some long tossing here just in case Dempster encounters an issue. Jeff Kent now with 2 outs. Loney, let's see what Loney's going to try and get a bag here. So he's not being held on. Does he get a lead? 4 or 6? He gets a 4. He will. So Dempster and Soto together -1. It's a 1 to 12 chance at a stolen base for Loney, and he does steal second. So into scoring position for Kent. Can Kent cash in the run and tie this game back up? Three, 8, and he won't. That'll be a grounded third, and Ramirez takes care of business. No runs, no hits, 1 left. And they may have to use Marquis here in this game because Marmol pitched 2 innings in the last game, and so they may need, let's see, what is Wood's closer rating? He's a 6. He didn't pitch last game. He could, in theory, get a 6-out save, and we may do that. So, bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Cubs. And you know what? Dempster is still not tired, and they don't have Marmol. I think they're going to try and give Dempster another inning to work. So that's pushing him a little bit, but here is Terrio. Study was done that not shaking dice has better odds of being random. By shaking them, you increase your chance of a duplicate roll by 9% over 20. Phanomatic, hi, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you. Yeah, that's an interesting. It has made me wonder at times if there. I've never really looked into it, but I have wondered what some of the potential studies, because I mean, gambling and, you know, craps, all that kind of stuff is such a, I mean, for tabletop sports, it's the same effect, but or tabletop games in general, but, you know, gambling is the more clear place where this type of thing would have the potential to wreak havoc on somebody's bank account. So yeah, Alan wonders who sat there. Well, I'll tell you what. There are What do you think you're supposed to do? Well, what are you supposed to do when you get a mathematics degree? What is your, or like statistics? What are you going to do in life? I mean, I guess nowadays, maybe in sports and in business is a little maybe more likely to use statistical analysis to impact their decision making more than it used to, where I think in the old days it was sort of like, you know-how and experience was sort of the maybe experience was more than you know, a degree or know-how or whatever. But nowadays maybe, but yeah, I'm sure that there are statistics guys that are out there. It's like, well, what? And maybe even casinos would fund it to try and decide how best to make sure they get your money. Study said, just pick them up and roll. I'm trying to find it now in Google. Can't find out where I saw it. Well, maybe I'll just roll them as quickly as I can for the most part. 4-4 righty, catcher X off of Maddox's card. So that will be Russell Martin, 1, good range, 18. Now he will pick it up, a little dribbler out in front of the plate, and then an E2 and a 6 roll. No error, so that'll be an out. 2-3 is the scoring. And now Dempster, again, they're going to, so 5-10. He's batting from the right, grounder to short. Another check here. This is Garcia Parra for 4 and 5. I think he is gonna reach on a single. He'll be 2 for 3 here, Dempster. No error, I don't think, on a 12. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not an error. Yeah. So Dempster earning his keep at the plate. So Soriano, 6'9", righty, and big problems. Look out, 1 to 14 home run. 16, that is a triple for Soriano. In to score comes Dempster, and it's now a 4-2 game for the Cubs. So the Dodgers will have to prepare their bullpen. They'll get Corey Wade warming up. Fukudome with, they're going to play infield in here. This 1-8, that's a strikeout. So that's a welcome out there for Maddox. Gets the better of the lefty. And here is Derek Lee. I got to re-roll the D20 here just in case. Well, potential balk. 1 to 3 for Maddox. 7, so 2-7, grounder to short, and he will get out of it. Garciaparra throws to first for the out, and Maddox escapes without any further damage. They're going to keep Wade up. I don't think Wade was used last game, right? No. Got to go. So Allen's doing a little tripping. So in the not so lethargic way. Okay, DeWitt, then Garciaparra, and then the pitcher spot, and they will pinch hit for Maddox. Although, well, yeah, they will. I thought Maddox was a better hitter than that. He's just a good bunter. DeWitt, 6'8", lefty. 1 would be a single. It's a liner to Kent for the out. Nomar Garciaparra. He is over 2, and he will have a chance at a ballpark single, 1 to 10. And there you go. So the pinch hitter will have something to try and accomplish here. The Cubs are going to get Marquis back up and warming. They'll also get Neil Kotz, lefty, just in case. So this time it'll be Juan Pierre. They know that they don't want, they're trying to get Dempster through this inning, so it'll be Pierre. See if they can force Chicago into doing something else, and they're going to stick with Dempster. So Pierre at the plate with a runner at first. And Garciaparra, I assume at this point in his career, is not much of a stolen base threat, and he's not. Dempster won't get too many more batters here, so... Oh, my hand is getting sticky, so here we go. 5-11. Lefty, fly ball to left. A little sweaty in here. So left field, Soriano 4. And it's leaning. I don't know. That's where this tray is not friendly to me. I don't know what to do. It's rolling to 6, but if it keeps rolling, it may even go past 6 because it was rolling with a lot of speed. I'm going to have to re-roll it, so I don't know. Let's try it again. A 4 and it's leaning again. That is like right on the seam. Look at this. That is, if you look at it straight on, it is straight up and down. It's tough to see because of the light. Let's do this. 5. So that's at least gonna make Dodgers fans happy, because it was a 6. It looked like it was gonna be 6 possibly to begin with. 5 is pretty close. I don't think it's gonna cost anybody anything. Yeah, let's see, a 4 in left field. 5 and 6 are both single 2-star, so let's call that good. May have to start rolling the D20 out here, because that's where the trouble ends up lying, and I don't think that's an error. Let's see, 8, E8, and then 8. Nope, no error, but that will be a single. And Garciaparra will make it all the way to third base. And with 1 out, could try to send Juan here. Let's see who's coming up. Kemp. Oh, they're gonna have to go to the pen. So Dempster will be pulled. 27 is pretty deep, so they're gonna go with Jason Marquis. Not a great arm. Let's see, do they have... It is the 7th, but they don't have Marmol. They'd probably like to use Samardzija in the 8th. And they pitched an inning with him last game. They'd like to be able to use him. How much did they use? Yes. Probably. Nate, go and get it from Sarah's keyboard. Go get it, Sarah. Sarah. Let's see. Got to use the old 1 to 20 tickets to be sure. 1 to 20 tickets. Does that mean you use pull cards to make sure they're random? All right, let me see. Samardzija went. They're gonna use Marquis. Not real jazzed about this decision. I think it's potentially, well, anyway. Juan Pierre is going to hold tight. So Matt Kemp, with 1 out, it'll be Marquis coming into the game here to face Matt Kemp. And let's see what happens here. 1-6, that is a single. Wouldn't have mattered who came in. That's going to score the tying run. And Pierre will try to get to third. So Kemp probably takes second if they don't get... If he runs to third, Kemp's going to get second. And if they don't throw to second, they're going to let Pierre get to third and hold Kemp. So you have sort of a... And not only that, but Pierre has a chance of stealing third to begin with. So he's a 1 to 15. He's a 15 starter from third base if he gets a good lead. So the chances of him getting over there are pretty good, and at the very least, you'd like to limit the opportunity for the Cubs to go way ahead. So it's going to be Ethier. And now they will go to Cots. So Marquis is wasted. On one batter, doesn't get the job done. Kemp could, in theory, try to steal here with Cots not being great at holding. Well, they're going to see if Ethier can do the number on Cots here. So lefty, lefty. 1-7, a fly ball to center field. B, Pierre is going to tag up. He is a, what, a 1-17. He's got to be, right? Yeah, 1-17. It makes him up to 19 with his, and then to center field, it's going to be Reed Johnson, 1-18. They will throw home. Kemp will move to second on the throw. So 19 or 20, and he'll be out. 12, he scores, and the Cubs do take the lead. Sack 8. On the fielder's choice, Kemp does stroll into second, and so now Russell Martin. Well, they're going to keep Cots in there to face Martin. Lefty righty. 6-8. Against a righty, that's a strikeout. That'll end the inning. So 2 runs across, though. And that is now a 5-2 lead for Chicago. Or wait, what am I doing? I was going to say, I thought that was the Dodgers. I tried to write down the 0. Actually, no, it was a 1, right? What am I doing? I'm like getting spaced out because of this the heat in here. And I had an interruption. The screen is black. Yeah, that's what I figured. Can you reload YouTube and see if that helps you at all? If it doesn't, what happened is that as much as I have said to certain people that if they call me when I'm in the middle of doing a video, it will like completely screw up the video. They still do it when their life is getting inconvenienced. So it's just sort of like a penal way to, a way to penalize me for whatever. So there's 2 here. So what's that? A tie ball game. I forgot the Cubs picked up an insurance run here. So it's 4-4. It's my bad. But they did tie it up. I just, reloading didn't work. All right, I guess I'm going to have to do the second part of the video. So let's, I'll be right back.